Part 1. The Purpose of Pain and the Call to Transformation Throughout Life. We face challenges that feel impossible to overcome. In the middle of pain and confusion, we often ask, why is this happening to me? Carl Jung believed that nothing happens by accident. Every obstacle carries a deeper meaning or purpose that may not be immediately clear. When you feel lost in a draining relationship, stuck in a meaningless job, or battling invisible inner turmoil, know this. It's not punishment. It's a divine invitation to transformation. Jung taught that real growth begins when we confront what we fear most. The struggles that tear you apart are reflections of your own shadow, parts of yourself you've suppressed or denied for too long. The recurring patterns, the same people, the same disappointments are not random. They're messages from your unconscious, calling for change. God, or the universe, uses trials to reveal your inner strength, not to break you, but to awaken you. Every failure, every tear, is a step on the staircase of your ever. Just like a diamond is forged through fire and pressure, you too are being refined. Your pain is not meaningless. It's shaping you into who you were always meant to become. Part 2. Embracing the shadow and trusting the process. It's tempting to give up, to stay on the familiar path of on, if that path leads nowhere. But Jung reminds us that transformation happens when we face the unknown, when we walk through darkness to confront our inner shadows. Think back to the hardest times in your life. How often did it feel like you couldn't go on, only to realize later that those very moments made you stronger, wiser, more aware of what truly matters? It is through pain and confusion that we uncover our true selves. God doesn't make mistakes. Every setback, every heartbreak, every closed door is part of a greater plan. Jung believed a soul has a calling, and it reveals itself most powerfully through hardship. When everything falls apart, it's not the end, it's the beginning of a deeper awakening. Our unconscious mind often knows we're ready before our conscious mind does. That's why we're tested. These trials are not there to punish you, they're there to shake you awake, to confront fears you've carried for years, to release beliefs, relationships, and versions of yourself that no longer serve your purpose. Each challenge is like a mirror reflecting the parts of you that still need healing. Choosing to face these moments with courage moves you one step closer to becoming whole, to becoming your truest self. Part 3. Growth through trials and the strength in surrender. Real growth, docent happening comforted. Just like a tree drives its roots deeper during fierce winds, your soul becomes stronger through adversity. Each painful experience is preparing you, shaping you, and making you more resilient than before. But the truth is, most people avoid the discomfort. They run from their pain and settle for a life that feels safe but ultimately unfulfilled. Jung would say these people are disconnected from their purpose, caught in cycles of frustration because they're too afraid to confront what's within. You, however, are not here to settle. If you're hearing this message, it's because something in you already knows you're meant for more. You're being called out of your comfort zone, invited to trust the process, to believe that every step, even the painful ones, are leading you toward a life of deeper meaning. As you begin to align with that purpose, you'll notice subtle changes. Your perspective shifts. Things that once felt impossible become achievable. The right people start showing up in your life. Those who drain you start falling away. This isn't a coincidence, it's the natural result of moving in harmony with your true path. And in that journey, you're never alone. Even when it feels like no one understands, even when the silence is heavy, God is right there, working, guiding, strengthening you from within. Part 4. Pain as a mirror and the invitation to inner healing. What if the obstacles you're facing aren't random misfortunes, but reflections of something deeper within you that's ready to be healed? Jung believed that our outer world mirrors our inner world. The struggles we experience are invitations, not punishments, to look within and confront the parts of ourselves that have been neglected. Just like a seed cannot bloom without pressure, darkness, and time, your soul cannot grow without challenge. What feels like breakdown is often breakthrough in disguise. Every sleepless night, every moment of hopelessness is cultivating a transformation you can't yet see. Suffering, as painful as it is, carries a sacred purpose. It's the fire that burns away the false layers and reveals your most authentic self. God doesn't place trials in your path to break you, but to build you into the person you were always meant to become. Jung taught that crisis is not something to avoid, but to lean into. Because within every crisis is an invitation to rediscover your strength, to awaken your soul, to rise into the next version of yourself. This isn't the end. It might just be the beginning of the most meaningful chapter of your life. As you begin to trust that your pain has meaning, your whole perception shifts. You begin to see your journey not as chaos, but as divine choreography, unfolding of a higher plan beyond your current understanding. Part 5. Letting go. Creating space. And becoming whole. Letting go is one of the hardest things we're called to do. We cling to what's familiar even when it hurts because it gives us a false sense of control. But as Jung said, what you resist not only persists, but grows. Holding on to what no longer serves you delays the life God is preparing for you. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones, each one representing fear, regret, toxic relationships, guilt, or outdated beliefs. With every step, the weight pulls you down, keeping you stuck. The only way forward is to begin releasing them one by one. And releasing is only half the journey. You must also become open to receiving. The universe, as Jung believed, is always in balance. When you clear space within, new opportunities, aligned relationships, and deeper peace begin to flow into your life. Sometimes, the transformation isn't dramatic. It happens in quiet ways, a sense of hope returning, an unexpected breakthrough, the right person appearing when you need it most. This is not coincidence. It's the result of your courage to surrender and your willingness to trust. You are not being asked to be perfect, only to be willing. Willing to grow, to let go, to walk forward with faith even when the path is unclear. This sacred process of becoming demands trust in God, in your inner voice, and in the timing of your own evil. Part 6. The power of faith and the gift of transformation. Every step you take in faith, no matter how small, is a declaration. I trust the process. When you rise after falling, when you keep going despite the pain, you're telling the universe and yourself that you believe something greater is ahead. But the journey won't always feel forward. There will be days when doubt takes over, when it feels like you're slipping backward. That's when faith matters most. God is closest in the silence, working behind the scenes to prepare you for something beyond what you can imagine. Jung believed that light is born from darkness. In our lowest moments, when everything seems to fall apart, we find our deepest strength. The soul awakens through pressure, and though the transformation isn't immediate, every struggle is shaping your character and preparing you for the life you're meant to live. It's not easy. It burns. It strips away illusions. But like gold refined by fire, what remains is pure and unshakable. So, pause and reflect. What are your current trials trying to teach you? What painful moment might be a messenger, mirror revealing what within you needs healing? That heartbreak, that failure, that feeling of emptiness, could it be guiding you back to your truth? God is not withholding from you. He's creating space. And when you finally release what no longer aligns with who you're becoming, you open yourself to a life more authentic, more peaceful, and more powerful than you've ever known. Part 7. Synchronicity, surrender, and the flow of divine timing, Jung called it. Synchronicity, those mysterious alignments where everything seems to fall into place at the right moment. They're not random. They're the natural result of inner alignment, when you stop forcing outcomes and start flowing with purpose. This isn't magic. It's the fruit of surrender. When you release control and open your heart to trust, the right people, moments, and opportunities begin to appear, not because you've chased them, but because you became ready to receive them. God isn't looking for your perfection. He's looking for your willingness to grow, to confront your fears, to embrace the light that has always lived within you. Every challenge you face isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's shaping you into someone stronger, clearer, and more capable of carrying the blessings meant for you. The more you surrender, the more powerful the transformation. The deeper the trust, the greater the peace. And while letting go feels like loss, what you're actually doing is creating space for what is truly meant for you. Ask yourself, what are you still holding on to that no longer serves who you're becoming? What belief, fear, or attachment is keeping you stuck? Could that very struggle be the doorway to the life you've been quietly praying for? Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And on the other side of that surrender is a peace, a purpose, and a strength that no storm can shake. Part 8. Your story has power, and your pain has purpose. This journey you're in, it's not just for you. The pain you're enduring, the lessons you're learning, might one day be the very light someone else needs to find their way. Jung believed that our struggles become bridges to connection. What feels like personal suffering can transform into collective healing. Your story, with all its mess and beauty, carries value. The strength you gain through your trials becomes a gift you can offer others. So don't underestimate your voice. Don't minimize your journey. Someone out there is quietly searching for exactly the wisdom you now carry. Maybe it's time to share it. Not when you're fully healed or have it all figured out, but now, as you walk through the process. Because your honesty, your vulnerability, your courage to keep going, that's what others need most. And while you're helping others, something powerful happens within you. You heal, too. Expression becomes liberation. Connection becomes medicine. Every step forward you take becomes a spark that lights the path for someone else. So if your heart feels stirred by these words, it's not by accident. It's because you're being called, not just to endure this season, but to rise from it and to carry with you a message of hope, resilience, and purpose that the world desperately needs. Part 9. Trust the process and embrace who you're re-becoming. The path you re-walking may feel uncertain, but none of it is without purpose. God is not wasting a single moment of your struggle. Every tear, every delay, every unanswered prayer is part of a divine blueprint, carefully shaping the person you're meant to become. Jung taught that we cannot transform what we refuse to confront. Life's challenges are sacred invitations to turn inward, to rediscover strength you didn't know you had. These are not random hardships, they are sacred initiations, preparing you for a life of deeper meaning. Even in silence, God is working. Even in darkness, the soul is growing. Even when you can't see the next step, faith carries you forward. This isn't the end, it's the beginning of a more powerful chapter. And as you walk it, remember, the transformation isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming fully yourself, whole, awake, aligned with your truth. If this message resonated with you, it's for a reason. Maybe your heart whispered, "This is for me." If so, don't ignore that call. Embrace it. Let it be the spark that moves you forward. Share your truth. Share your light. Let your story become a beacon for someone else who feels lost in their own storm. Because in the end, your journey matters. And the person you are becoming through these trials is not only stronger but exactly who the world needs. Call to action. If your heart felt even a whisper of truth in these words, don't walk away in silence. Subscribe now and tap the bell, because this isn't just a channel. It's a sanctuary for your soul. Let every message be a gentle reminder that you are growing, you are rising, and you are not alone. The journey has only just begun, and we'll walk it together, one awakening at a time.